Hello children, this is Srikant, your chemistry teacher. I am going to teach the 8th class chemistry topics which are related to both CBSE and state. So from this syllabus, first I would like to teach the lesson metals and non-metals. What is the name of the lesson? Metals and non-metals. So here in this lesson what we are going to learn means we are going to learn about what is mean by metal and what is mean by non-metal, and next point we are going to learn about what are the importance of the metals and non-metals, and next we are going to learn where do these metals and non-metals are available, and next finally we are going to learn about the topic that is the prevention of corrosion, for metals, and these are the points we are going to learn in this lesson. So before going to learn these lessons, first we have to know some important points about the chemistry. So what are the important points we have to learn? What are the important points means the first point is matter, and second one is atom, and third one is element. So what are the points here? Matter, atom and element, right? So first, what is mean by matter? Matter is a substance which has mass and occupy space. What is mean by the matter? Matter is a substance which has mass and occupy space is called as matter. So let me see some examples for the matter. So for example, whatever the we are observing in the universe, that is, for example, I am taking a duster. What example I am taking here? A duster. So is this duster matter or not? So let me see. So according to the definition, what we said, the substance which has mass and occupy space. Now let me see, is this duster is having mass? Yes, it has mass. Is it occupy space? Right, now it is also occupy space when we keep on the table or anywhere. So that means the duster is come under into the matter. So if you take anything in the universe which has mass and occupy space, that come under into the matter. So for example, duster, piece of chalk, table, pen, pencil, water, air, these electrons, protons, neutrons, these all come under into the matter. So what is the next point here? Atom. So according to the scientist John Dalton, what is the name of the scientist? John Dalton. So according to him, he said that matter is made up of tiny particles. What he said, sir? Matter is made up of tiny particles. These tiny particles are known as atoms. These are known as atoms. So right. So how can we define the atom? How can we define the atom? Atoms are the basic form of matter. Atoms are the basic form of matter, and according to the John Dalton, they cannot be divided into simpler substances. According to the John Dalton, atom cannot be divided into simpler substances, but they can participate in the chemical reaction. Right? Let me discuss the next point, that is element. What is the next point, sir? That is element. So what is mean by element and how the element is made up? How the element is made up? So elements are made up with same type of atoms. Elements are made up with the same type of atoms. The next point of elements is elements are chemically the simplest substances. Elements are chemically the simplest substances. They cannot be broken down. They cannot be broken down by any chemical reaction. So I am going to repeat once again about the elements. So elements are made up with same type of atoms. Elements are chemically the simplest substances. They cannot be broken down into simpler substances by any chemical reaction, by any chemical reaction. So here there are 120 elements are known. There are how many number of elements are known? 120 elements. So for example, for the elements are, we know that hydrogen, the symbol of hydrogen is H. For example, helium, the symbol is He. For example, sodium, the symbol of the sodium is Na. For example, if you take aluminium, the symbol of that element aluminium is Al, etc. Like this, how many number of elements are there? 120 number of elements are there. To study the properties of these 120 elements at a time, it is difficult. It is what's here? Difficult. So, to study the properties of these 120 elements in simplest manner, scientists are classified the elements into different aspects. Scientists are classified into different aspects. So among that, due to that, they are arranged these elements. They are arranged these elements in a particular table, which is known as periodic table. So if you observe this periodic table, in this periodic table, the elements are classified into different aspects. Like some elements are classified into periods, and they are classified into groups, and they are classified into blocks, and along with that, these elements are also classified into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So they are also classified into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. If you observe this periodic table, in this periodic table, the red colored elements all are metals. And if you go for the blue color elements, those all are known as non-metals. Coming to the middle staircase, which are appeared with yellow colored, those are known as metalloids. So what is mean by metalloids? So metalloids are the elements which are having both the characteristic properties of metals and non-metals. Metalloids are having both the characteristic properties of metals and non-metals. So for example, what are the examples for the metalloids? The examples for the metalloids are boron, silicon, germanium, antimony, bismuth, etc. So now coming to here, what we said here, the red color substances or the red color elements are metals, and the blue color elements are non-metals, and the middle staircase which is appeared with yellow color, those elements are considered as non-metals in the modern periodic table. Right? Next, how can we identify the metals and non-metals? How can we identify the metals and non-metals? Is there any characteristic properties to identify the metals and non-metals? Yes, there are two characteristic properties to identify the metals and non-metals. So what are the two characteristic properties means? Number one is chemical property and number two is physical property. Number one is chemical property, number two is physical properties. So before going to learn the physical properties, first we would discuss about chemical properties. That means based on the chemical nature, how can we identify the metal and non-metal? The metal and non-metal. So that means first we have to know the definition of metal. We have to know the definition of metal. So what is the definition of metal? So here metal is defined as the elements are which are electropositive in nature. The elements which are electropositive in nature, or the the elements which are acquires electropositive nature by losing of electrons. So once again I am repeating the definition. The elements which are acquiring electropositive nature by the losing of electrons are called as metals. So to understand in better manner this definition, that means what is meant by electropositivity and what is meant by the losing of electrons, like these words, to understand in better manner, we have to know a brief introduction about the structure of the atom. What we have to know here? We have to know the brief introduction about the structure of the atom. So coming to here, according to the scientist Niels Bohr, he said that atom appears in the shape of spherical. You see the structure of atom here. You can see the structure of atom here. How it is appearing? It is appearing in the form of spherical shape. So here, if you observe the structure of the atom very clearly, the center of the atom is known as nucleus. The center of the atom is known as nucleus, and around the atoms there are number of circular paths. What are there, sir? Here there are number of circular paths. These circular paths are called as orbit or shells. These are known as orbits or shells, right? So once again I am repeating, the center of the atom is known as nucleus, and around the nucleus the circular paths are known as shells or orbits. Right? So now coming to is there any particles inside the atom? Is there any particles present inside the atom? Yes, there are present particles inside the atom. The particles which are present inside the atom are known as fundamental particles. Those are known as what are here? Fundamental particles. So how many number of fundamental particles are present inside the atom? So mainly there are 3 fundamental particles are present inside the atom. How many number of fundamental particles are present inside the atom? Mainly 3 fundamental particles are present inside the atom. Those are electrons, protons, neutrons. What are the name of the fundamental particles? Electrons, protons, neutrons, right? So if we observe the relative charge of these fundamental particles, the electrons are having negatively charged and the protons are having relatively positive charge and the neutrons are having relatively low charge. That means neutrons doesn't have any charge. But the electrons are having relatively negative charge, the protons are having relatively positive charge. Now, where these fundamental particles are present inside the atom? In the atom. That means which fundamental particles are present in the nucleus and which fundamental particles are present outside the nucleus. Now we have to know. So coming to here, the fundamental particles, that is protons and neutrons. The fundamental particles, protons and neutrons, are present inside the nucleus, are present inside the nucleus. Coming to here, the electrons are present outside the nucleus. Outside the nucleus means where they are present? They are present in the shells. They are present in the shells. If you observe the structure keenly, here in the orbits there are green colored particles you are observing. Those are what are here? Electrons. And if you observe the center of the atom, there are red color particles are there. Those are known as neutrons. The remaining particles are known as protons. Right, sir? So once again, if you observe the structure, in the orbits the green color particles are known as electrons, and the inside the nucleus the red color particles are known as neutrons, and the other particles are known as protons. Right? If we observe the structure of atom, in any neutral atom it can consist with equal number of electrons and protons. It can consist with equal number of electrons and protons. For example, if you observe the structure of atom of carbon which is appearing in the image, it has how many number of electrons in the orbits? It has how many number of electrons means it has 6 number of electrons. How many number of electrons are there? 6 number of electrons. So at the same time, there will be 6 number of protons in the nucleus. How many number of protons will be present in the nucleus? 6 number of protons present in the nucleus. So coming to here, what about the neutrons? So for some atoms, the number of neutrons may be equals to the protons or may not be equals to the protons. So it does not matter. Why? Because the neutrons are not having any charge. They are not having any charge. So the electrons and protons are always equal for a neutral atom. Right, sir? So the electrons and protons always equals to the neutral atom. Right? So this is the brief introduction about the structure of atom. Brief introduction about the structure of atom. Now let me come to the definition of the metal. Let me come to the definition of the metal. So what we discussed the definition of metal means the elements which are ready to form a positive charge on it by losing of electrons. That means the elements will lose the electrons and then they will acquire positive charge on them. Those are called as metals. Right, sir? So whatever the periodic table we observe, so in that the red colored elements all are considered as metals. That means they all are ready to lose the electrons and they are ready to form a positively charged particles. So the elements which are forming positively charged particles, those are called as electropositive ions. So the elements which are forming the electropositive ions, those are called as metals. So for example, if you take the metal sodium, what is the symbol of the sodium? Na. What is the symbol of the sodium? Na. So sodium is ready to lose one number of electron and it will form one positive charge on it. So due to the formation of positive charge, the element sodium is considered as metal. So how many number of electrons it lost? One electron. That's why it formed one positive charge. If you take the metal magnesium, it is ready to lose 2 electrons. It is ready to lose how many number of electrons? 2 electrons. If it is lose 2 electrons, it acquires 2 positive charges on it. How many number of positive charges will form here? 2 positive charges form on the sodium metal. So when 2 positive charges are formed, now it is considered as ion. So it is having which charge of which charge? It is consist with a positive charge. That's why it is called as electropositive ion. Electropositive ion. So the number of positively charged, the number of positively charges present on the atom, it is depends upon the number of electrons are loosed. How many number of electrons are loosed? The same number of positively charged will form on the atom. Right, sir, all of it. So this is definition of what's are here metal. So based on this chemical nature, we can identify the metals. We can identify the metals, or we can distinguish the metals from the non-metals. That means we can conclude that the definition of the metal, the elements which acquire positive charge on it by losing of electrons. The elements which are acquired positive charge by losing of electrons are called as metals. Are called as metals, right? So, on the other hand, we can also identify the metals, or we can also distinguish the metals from the non-metals with the help of physical properties. With the help of physical properties. So now, what are the physical properties are there for metals? What are the physical properties are there for metals to identify or to distinguish them from the non-metals? So, whatever the periodic table we observed till now, in that periodic table there are 91 metals are there. There are how many number of metals are there? 91 metals are there. So all of these have a certain common physical properties. All of these metals have what's are here? A certain physical properties. These physical properties used to distinguish the metals from the non-metals. Now let me see what are the physical properties are there. So here total 10 types of physical properties are there to distinguish the metals from the non-metals. In that, the first physical property is state. What is the first physical property? That is state. The second one is color. What is the second physical property? Color. The third physical property is lustrous nature. The third physical property is what's here? Lustrous nature. The fourth physical property is hardness. What is the physical property? Hardness. So hardness of metal. The fifth one is density. What is the fifth one, sir, here? Density. The sixth one is malleability. The sixth property is malleability. The seventh property is ductility. What is the seventh property? Ductility. The eighth one is conductivity of metals. With heat and electricity. That means, are the metals are good conductors of electricity, or poor conductors of electricity, and they are good conductors of heat or not. These things we are going to discuss in this point. Next, the next point, that is the ninth property is what's here? Sonority. The ninth property is sonority. What is the sonority and how can we distinguish the metals from the non-metals? We will discuss in this point. The last property, that is what's here? Melting point and boiling points of the metals. Melting point and boiling points of the metals. Right, sir? So these are the 10 physical properties we are going to discuss. About the metals. In the same manner, to distinguish non-metals from the metals, these physical properties only we are going to study. So these are the 10 physical properties which are used to distinguish the metals from the non-metals. So how many total physical properties are there here? Total 10 physical properties are there for the metals. So about these physical properties, the study of these physical properties in detailed manner, we will learn in the next class. We will learn in the next class, and along with this, so we are going to learn the properties of non-metals, and the chemical reactions of metals and the chemical reactions of non-metals. So these points we are going to discuss in next class. Okay children, thank you. Stay home, stay safe.